Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie with KBKC Yoga. And for today's practice, we will be doing a quick morning yin practice. Now, yin yoga is a style of yoga that's really passive and gets into the deep connective tissues of the body. It's kind of like a deep stretch. And this can feel kind of counterintuitive to do in the morning after we've been asleep all night and laying flat. But it's actually a really nice way to transition from that waking state into the state of alertness. It's also really effective to get into the connective tissues of the body, the tendons, the ligaments, the joints, and the fascia when the muscles are cold because they don't steal the stretch. So for today's practice, you'll need one yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, maybe a stack of books would be nice, or something that can support the hips on a low height sitting, hips and head on a low height setting. And we're gonna go ahead and dive in. So for our first posture today, we'll take a supported bridge. So we'll come down onto the back, have your yoga block handy. You'll work your way onto the back, soles of the feet flat. We'll start in what's called constructive rest. So it can feel nice to kind of work your body into the floor, especially after you've been asleep all night. You can use the hardwood floor to sort of massage out the soles of the feet and the hips. And then with the feet relatively hip width distance, you'll press the feet down, lift the hips up, and slide your prop on low height setting if you're using a block, just underneath the hips. So you want to check the position. You want the block just under the sacrum, not up in the low back, and not so low that the pelvis is sort of tipping down, just right there beneath the back of the hips. And then adjust your feet and find a heaviness in the body. You might rest your hands on your belly or your ribs. It might feel nice this morning to take your arms up overhead. So wherever you are, close down the eyes and take your first big conscious inhale of the day. And then nice, slow, steady exhale out the mouth. Closing the lips, breathing in through the nose. Feel the body expand and open. And slow, controlled exhale, sweeping the body of sleep. Breathing in this way, conscious of the body. I want you to start to scan the body from the crown of the head downward, looking for any areas of tension that you can release. So maybe there's tension across the forehead or the eyebrows. Maybe around the corners of the eyes, or tension in the jaw, or even in the tongue. Soften as you move down the body across the shoulder blades, the muscles of the back. And then check in with the glutes and the pelvic floor. See if there's any tension there you can let go of. Relaxing all the way down the legs, over the knees, and then all the way into the soles of the feet. Just allowing yourself to be really heavy here for a few moments, to be supported in this inversion in the hips above the heart. Try not to plan the day ahead in the quiet spaces here, but just to be really present with the body as it is, without expectation or judgment, just content to be here and alive in this moment. Let's take one more big deep inhale. And then a big cleansing exhale, float open the eyes. Let's bring the left knee into the chest here. And you'll reach up and interlace the fingers either to the back of the left thigh or maybe to the left shin. From here, slide your right leg forward, getting a nice big stretch across the front of the right hip. And then lightly pull the knee into the body, maybe walking the shoulder blades underneath you, relaxing the shoulders and the back of the head. Compressing the front of the left hip crease and lengthening the front of the right. Let the eyelids flutter closed or let the gaze soften if you haven't already. And just settle in for about a minute of stillness here on this first side. As your focus is pulled to tasks ahead of you today, gently bring it back to the present moment just by focusing on the breath. Give yourself the freedom from planning in this moment. Just enjoy the sensation of the stretch. Let's take one more big inhale here. And then on your exhale, you're going to keep your left knee as it is. You're going to slide your right foot towards the front left corner of the block and then let the knee fall open. So really intense stretch for the quad here. You might reach the left hand down, grab the foot and sort of tuck the toes under so that you're on the shoelace part of the foot more, if that feels nice for the ankle. And then we'll settle in here for just another minute of this stretch. So a minute is not very long in the yin tradition, but we can tap into the yin-like quality of the practice by just getting really still and quiet for this short amount of time. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. Try not to rush the exhales. In fact, extend them if you can, longer than each inhale breath. Good. And then as you're ready, you'll bring the right foot back to the mat and then hug the right knee in to meet the left. And from here, you can adjust the block if you need to, if it's in a weird spot or if it doesn't feel right. Maybe you walk your hips a little forward. Maybe you bring the feet down to adjust. We're just going to let the knees fall in towards the belly and rock a little side to side using the edge of your prop to massage the edge of the sacrum. If you rock far enough left to right, you'll feel that SI joint and a little tenderness there. Sacroiliac crest. Good. And then Zip your legs together and we'll take tiny little circles here. You can either have the hands on the knees for this or maybe down to the block for support. Little myofascial release. Imagine massaging out any knots or congestion. And then we'll reverse and take the circles the opposite way. And coming back to center as you're ready, keep the right knee into the chest and interlace the fingers there. And then release the left foot to the floor and then slide the left leg forward to open and stretch through the front of the left hip, left side. Commit to deep relaxation here. Hmm. Using each breath like an anchor to keep you rooted in the present moment. And taking another inhale or so here. As you're ready, you'll start to bend the left knee and slide that right foot towards the left foot towards the front right corner of the block. Let the knee drop open. Same thing if you want to reach the right hand down. Find the foot and sort of tuck it up a little bit deeper. That can feel nice. If that's too much, just let it be a little bit further away from the block. Stillness is a practice, like anything else, and it's something that we don't practice often off of our mat. So use this time here to get comfortable being still and quiet. And notice without judgment what happens in the mind. Does the mind chatter get louder, busier? See if you can't quiet that down by just coming back to the breath. Good. Take your last big breath in here. And then we'll bring the sole of the left foot to the mat, release the right foot down. And then slide both feet forward, maybe reaching the arms up overhead. Coming into what we call pontoon pose. Enjoy this nice big full body opening. You relax over the block, relax the hips. Let's take one more big full body inhale. And then bring the soles of the feet slowly back to the mat. Bring the hands down by the sides and then press into your feet to lift your hips. Slide your block away. Lower the hips back down. And let's roll onto your side. Moving to either side, just taking a moment here to curl up and get really small and just let the back body breathe. Imagine you could breathe through the back. And then from here, you'll press into that top hand and peel yourself up to seated. And then we'll come into hands and knees. So find tabletop, all fours. You can pad the knees if you like. We won't be here too long. We're just going to wake up the spine through some gentle movement here. So stacking shoulders and wrists, hips and knees. On an inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone. On an exhale, round the spine, curling chin down to chest. Cat-cows. Inhale, open. Exhale, round and curl. This feels great first thing in the morning. Good. One more inhale, open. Exhale, curl the spine. Pause here, take an in-breath. And then shift your weight towards your left. Drop the belly, scoop through the middle, and then shift the weight to the right, rounding the spine. So you're going to take big barrel rolls around. You can bend the elbows. Let this be really fluid. One more this way. And then from the top, switch directions. One more. Good. And then from here, we'll tuck the toes. And you're going to lift to the knees and walk the hands back towards the feet, or walk the feet towards the hands. Both is fine. Either or is fine. Bend your knees pretty deeply, and you might find your block and have this under your hands here for support. So knees are pretty bent. You can take the feet a little wider, make room for the belly, maybe a little wiggle with the hips. On an inhale, fingertips to floor or to shins or to block, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees and let yourself drape down. Two more like that. Inhale to lengthen the spine, lifting halfway. Exhale to bend the knees, drape down, relax the head. Good. One more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold down. We'll stay here. We call this dangling pose in yin yoga. As you come into the pose for the first time today, be really gentle with the low back. So make sure the knees are as bent as they need to be here. And then give the head a shake. Yes. And then no, relaxing the head. You can have your hands on a block for support here. Maybe you take opposite elbows. And if you're feeling pretty flexible, maybe the elbows reach for, or the forearms reach for the block. And you could also ditch the block entirely and just hang here in space. For most of us in a yin-like forward fold, it's nice to have some sort of support with the fingertips. We'll be here for a lot longer than you're used to in a more yang style practice, maybe a vinyasa flow. So just letting the spine decompress. Really focusing the attention more on the back than we are on the backs of the legs, though of course you'll feel it there as well. For some of us, you might be able to turn block onto a higher height setting and relax the head onto the block. If that's available to you, that might feel nice. But let go of, again, any self-limiting beliefs or self-judgment, criticism. Just embrace the discomfort, soften into it. We'll stay here for about 5 more slow breaths. You could use this time, these last couple breaths, to maybe rub the backs of the legs or the calves, the feet. And you'll take our last inhale here. And then you're going to bring your hands to the floor or to a block. We'll heel toe the feet a little wider, turning the toes out. And then you're going to sink your hips down into a little squat. Good. As we come down here, you can take your block and slide it under the hips for support. So either on the low height setting or medium height setting, maybe you grab an extra book to stack. And then just getting really deep into the hip crease here, you'll tuck your elbows inside your knees and bring the hands together in front of the chest. So just lightly press the elbows into the knees to help open up here. And close down the eyes. If your heels aren't touching the ground, you could fold up a blanket and put it underneath the heels, or take 2 blocks under the seat. Really relaxing again through the pelvic floor, letting the hips sink down into that joint, whether you're on a prop or unsupported. If you want a little bit more intensity for both the hips and the wrists, you could start to slide the hands down until the forearms are parallel to the floor, or even dip down a little bit, wrists lower than the elbows here. Try not to fight the posture. Good. You're welcome to stay upright as long as you like for the rest of the posture. If you'd like to round the spine, you can just slide the hands up, releasing the hands, palms face down, and just tuck your chin and let your head hang. Just enjoying this extension through the upper back now. Taking just 3 more breaths wherever you are, whatever version or variation. And then as you're ready, release the fingertips to the floor, lift the hips up, and you can just walk yourself forward back onto hands and knees. We'll take the knees nice and wide, bring the big toes together behind us. And if you're working with a block, you might have it out front for the forehead as we sink the belly down between the thighs, bringing the edge of the eyebrows to the block. So you can stay up on your elbows here and just use the block as a little massage for the sinuses. If it feels good, you could crawl your hands forward and just let your head sink into the block, letting the chest melt down. You're welcome, of course, to ditch the block entirely and take a more traditional child's pose, just forehead on the mat. This pressure to the sinuses can feel really good some days and really painful others. So just be really gentle with that pressure. I find myself to be quite impatient at the beginning of the day. There's much to do. I probably need to eat. We'll just be patient here for about 3 more breaths of child's pose. Knowing that this is the best thing you could do for yourself right now in this moment. This is the most important part of your day, setting this foundation. Let's take one more big breath in. And then on the exhale, you're going to walk your hands up, just coming up nice and slow. And come through to sit. You could cross the ankles behind you or just rock to one side. And we'll end seated. It can be really nice to sit on that prop, that block, or stack of books, whatever you have, just to elevate the hips over the knees. We'll come into Sukhasana. Sukhasana is sometimes called easy pose. It's not always easy, but it's a little easier if we've got an elevation for the hips. So either Sukhasana, or if this is not working, you can sit in some other way. And as we come to seated, we'll just roll the shoulders up, big inhale, back and down the spine. 2 more, inhale up. Exhale, back and down. 1 more, big generous inhale. Exhale, let it settle. Rest the hands on the thighs. Inhale, close the eyes. Exhale, drop one ear to one shoulder. Inhale, drop the head back. And exhale, roll the chin through the middle to the chest. Good. Come all the way to the other side. Inhale, drop the head back. Exhale, down through the middle. Take 2 more side to side. One more. Good. On an inhale, sweep the arms up, big circle. Bring the palms together and then interlace the fingers, stretch up and back. Good. Come back to center and then tick-tock to the side, just one side and the other, stretching under the shoulders, and the side body and the ribs. And then bring the hands together in prayer at heart center. Drop the head, close the eyes. And take a moment to check in with the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body. Notice how you feel. Maybe setting an intention for the rest of your day. Something that can bring you purpose, that can anchor you back in your body. So that you can remember your why. And we'll take one last big breath in together, filling all the way up, holding at the top. Feeling the power and pressure of that inhale breath, that prana, that life force energy, the potential. Find joy in this moment. When you're ready, release the breath out the mouth. Big exhale, release the hands. And welcome yourself back into the rest of your day by slowly blinking open the eyes. Thank you so much for sharing your morning and your practice with me. I hope that was supportive. Don't forget to like this video and please do subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified every time I post new videos every Monday morning. And if you have any requests for new videos, or if you have any comments or questions about this one, please do leave it in the comment section down below. I will link my favorite blocks in the description box, as well as where you can find me to practice with me one-on-one or in a group setting, either live or online. Hope to see you again soon. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.